If you've been thinking about it and you've been putting it off and you keep making excuses and it's just like right after this vacation and right after the reception, I know they're going to have some great food there. So, I don't want to start before that.
Yeah.
That's bullshit. You've got to start and start today.
This is the Just Real Quick podcast, where we discuss how to succeed in the world of sales through confidence, discipline, and consistency. Are you ready to be intentional about creating more opportunities that lead to sales? Tune into this episode right now for the latest insights and strategies that will take your sales game to the next level. I'm your host, Jefferson K. Rogers.
Welcome back to another episode of Just Real Quick. You got to do a clip of what Shandell just did. She just did her own intro. But as you can see, I got my beautiful wife on the podcast with me today. We're going to be discussing health and sales performance and how it's associated. And who better to talk about this than the resident expert on health and sales, Shandell Rogers. Everybody, round of applause.
Definitely not the expert.
My incredible wife and partner in crime and in business. And we've been on a health journey for the last couple of years together. That was a long time coming because we got married back in 2010. And as soon as we got married, I just quit going to the gym.
I don't think I ever went to the gym.
And I got a little fluffy and pear-shaped in the process of not going to the gym for 9 years. Was it 8 or 9 years?
I don't know. I used to give you shit about going to the gym without me. And
yeah, it was just all this constant back and forth because I wanted to go to the gym, but then I used it as an excuse because she didn't want me to go to the gym without her and our schedules didn't align and we had kids and responsibilities and pressure of having jobs.
We were just young and broke.
We sure were. That was the other thing. Because as soon as I got married and had all these extra responsibilities, had to pay rent now, I got rid of one of the first things I got rid of was my gym membership. Because I was working out at that really nice gym.
You were working out every day when we were dating.
Yeah, and then I just let it go. But we're going to discuss today how you can learn from our mistakes and develop some good habits in your routines as a salesperson or as a mother and a father like we are as well, with busy lives and a lot of responsibilities and a lot of things pulling us a lot of different directions, and develop some discipline and some mindset shifts for you to get focused on the things that are important for you, to have the energy to do all these things at a very high level. You got to have your health together. You got to have some physical activity, and you got to be able to work it all in with a crazy freaking schedule.
Yeah. There's always time to work out.
There's always time. And as long as you keep making excuses, you'll never have time.
Yeah. So where should we start?
So I think we should start at the beginning. Should we start at the beginning?
Sure.
Like, how do you get started?
You just got to start. I don't know. For me, it was easy to have somebody to go with. I still would rather go with somebody than not, but I think it's important to find a way to do it on your own also.
Because when I started, I was going without you I started going a little bit in 2018, a little bit more in 2019. Towards the end of 2019, one of the things that clicked for me was I set a goal for myself. Remember, I called you one day when I was in Salt Lake and I said, I'm going to do the Rhino Rally.
Yeah.
Like, what? The hell's a Rhino Rally?
No,
you knew what it was. But it was like, where is this coming from?
Yeah.
And I didn't realize it at the time, but now looking back and reflecting on how I became consistent and started developing discipline and habits in my life was I set a goal.
Yeah.
And now I had this target that I was going after, and I wanted to compete in this race. And I'd done this race before 10 years earlier and got my ass kicked and barely made it.
Yeah.
And I didn't want that to happen this time, but I wanted to do that race. And this time I was going to be prepared physically, mentally, with my cardio and my strength to be able to go. They used to be 100 miles. The one that I actually did was only 60 miles. But then ever since then, I've been consistent.
Yeah.
And it's just been one goal after the next that I've turned it into.
Yeah.
And then after the race was over, then I did 75 hard later that year. And I was part of a mentor program, and everybody's got these challenges. And we had the Fit Crew group that I was a part of, where we would do the Marco Polos. And every day there's this group of people that were, it was like an accountability group. And we're sending messages to each other saying, doing arms today.
Yeah.
You getting it in?
Eventually you became the only one on there.
Yep. But that was, for me, that's what I needed. And you guys might need something else, but if you can find something that helps you develop the discipline and the consistency, because it is, one thing I heard from a good friend of mine, Jake Bennington, one time, is he said it's about consistency over intensity. Mm-hmm. And if you really want to develop a physique, you've got to have the intensity also. But to start, you've got to have something to build a foundation on, and you've got to have some consistency.
Well, like you started in the beginning, just going and stretching. It was just that consistency and building that habit of just getting there every day. Like make it a habit to just get to the gym, even if it's like you go for 20 minutes and you walk on the treadmill, or you go for 20 minutes and you just stretch.
Yeah, it used to drive my wife nuts.
I started going with him and he was just laying there stretching for like an hour. I'm like, I can handle about like 10, 15 minutes of this. And then I'm like, okay, let's do something.
But that's where
so
I had to start.
Just started making my own little workouts, and eventually I'm like, hey, now teach me, because I've never been to the gym. But
it's been so fun. And that was back in 2019 when we started going.
And then we got a trainer that same year, right? Mm-hmm. The end of that year.
So yeah, in November 2019, we got the trainer.
And then we would alternate days. Like I would work out with him one day, you would work out with him one day, because you were doing more specific training.
Yeah, I was training for the race.
And then eventually we started just working out together with the trainer, which is fun.
It's been really fun. So now, since like March of 2020, we've been working out and doing the same workouts.
Yeah.
And one of the things that you used to tell me when I was trying to encourage you to go to the gym and lift weights was that you didn't want to look bulky.
Yeah.
Right?
I probably did say that. I don't remember.
Yeah, I remember you specifically saying that, because I was like, that's bullshit. Like, you're so feminine. You're going to have to take steroids or do something pretty extreme for you to look bulky.
Yeah.
And I hear a lot of people making these excuses, like they don't want to look bulky. I've even heard your mom say that.
Yeah. She's even made comments.
Mm-hmm. But it's about, like, my goals are to look bulky. Like, I want to be all lumpy and bulky. Mm-hmm. But as a woman, you've been doing the same workouts and you've increased your strength incredibly over the past 3 years. But look at you, like, you still look feminine.
Yeah. You
don't have lumps and bumps and you don't look bulky or anything. You just look toned and fit.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. You're incredibly sexy. But it has to start somewhere, you guys. So if you've been thinking about it and you've been putting it off and you keep making excuses, and it's just like right after this vacation and right after the reception, I know they're going to have some great food there, so I don't want to start before that.
Yeah. That's
bullshit. You've got to start, and start today. And even if it's starting like I did, where I was just literally for the first 2 or 3 months, I would go and I would lay on the turf at the gym for 20 to 30 minutes, sometimes longer. But that's how I started developing the habit and the discipline to just get there.
Yeah.
And I had to start somewhere. And I've still got one of the pictures that I took originally at that little gym in that little town where I was at working. And I'd gotten pretty fluffy and out of shape.
I don't think so.
It's not like I was overweight. I never gained weight, but I had just gained weight in areas that weren't very appealing when I look in the mirror. And I wasn't proud of myself anymore. Now, how do you apply this to a busy schedule? Because sometimes that's what's keeping people from doing it, is they're so busy. Like, you're a part of a team and you got a lot going on and there's a lot of expectations and you got a busy schedule already. You're expected to be there at 9 o'clock in the morning every day, 6 days a week. Like, when do I even get this in?
Just got to make the time. Just got to schedule it in.
Yeah. If it's important, you'll make time for it.
If it is important, you'll prioritize it.
Because we make, if you think about it, you make time for a lot of other things in your life.
Oh, yeah.
It's not like every waking hour of your day is taken up by doing something productive.
I'm sure everyone spends at least an hour a day on their phone scrolling through social media or watching a TV show or something unproductive.
Yeah.
So take your clothes with you for work to the gym and just go to the gym and then change and go to work.
Yeah, we see people all the time. We go at varying times, but pretty often there's a guy that shows up and he's got his gym bag. There's a couple of guys.
Yeah.
They show up in their gym clothes with their gym bag, and then we can see them leaving out the door with their work clothes on.
Yep.
And it's not like that place that we go is anything special. There's no showers.
Yeah.
There's no locker room. There's just a door that you can close and you can go get dressed.
Yep.
But that guy stopped making excuses.
Right.
And he just does it anyways.
Yep. Or do it after work on your way home. Take your gym clothes to work. I mean,
there's always time.
I've even seen people like Haley's done that. She goes to the gym and then brings her gym bag here. Gets ready for work. It's awesome.
Or leaves, like if she leaves here also with her gym bag to go to yoga, like straight from work to go to yoga.
Yeah.
Yep. If you're going to do it, you got to do it. And you got to start today. Like even if it's not going to the gym and you just want to start with some exercise, go for a walk. Like we went for last 2 mornings, we went for a walk or a hike up.
I would call it a hike.
One of our local hills here. We don't really have mountains around here, but we have some hills to climb. But it's a great workout. Yeah. Like I know my heart rate is peaking way above 130.
Yeah.
And that's about where you want to have your heart rate to start burning some fat is right around 125, 130, 135 at a consistent rate for 30 to 45 minutes. And you're going to burn some calories.
Mm-hmm. And hey, that's a good way to get in some time with your wife or your spouse or
that's a good point.
Your family or whatever is just go for a walk after work. Take the family after dinner, go for a walk. Take your wife. It's quality time.
We love quality time.
We love quality time at our house. At least I do. So yeah, kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Get a little movement in and some quality time.
It is. And, another thing that I think hangs some people up, and it hangs me up sometimes too, is I am a very structured and routine-oriented individual. Mm-hmm. And like the changing of the seasons and the changing of the temperature F's everything up.
Yeah.
Like last summer, I was riding my bike and all of a sudden it got hot. I was like, I don't even want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
And then I didn't do it for a year. And then in the mornings for our walks, you couldn't do it that after work in the summer when it's 112.
Yeah, you'd have to do it at
you could, but
8 or 9
it'd be
o'clock
tough.
at night. Yeah.
It'd be really tough. So you've also got to be open and you've got to let your schedule adapt and evolve as the seasons change and as your seasons of life change and your relationships and your kids grow. Yes. You got to let go sometimes. I have a hard time letting go of my routines and just accepting that things are changing and you've got to adapt. And now you got to make room for it in a different way. And sometimes it's later in the day. Sometimes it's having to be earlier in the day. Mm-hmm. And there was a period early on when we were going to the gym where the only time that we could make sense of it, as busy as we both were, is we'd wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Go at 5.
And we were going at 5. Mm-hmm. We did that for like 2.5 years.
A long time.
But we didn't use it as an excuse. We both had busy schedules and it was not going to be an option for us to do it after work without sacrificing some really important things in our life. Yeah. So we just do it when it wasn't going to sacrifice anything important to us.
Yeah.
And we also got some really great bonding time. And it's so fun to work out with my wife because nobody else will push her like I'll push her. And it kind of irritates her because our trainer's great and he's strong and he can help with a lot of things. But the one thing he's not is as intense as I am.
Oh, no.
So it's these cool moments that we get to spend together. Yeah. Like pushing each other and doing challenging shit and also getting to really challenge ourselves mentally.
Yeah. Okay, so besides the working out aspect, what else?
Okay, so that's
Eating healthy.
That's your foundation. And a lot of times that's where it starts. And it's like, I heard this thing the other day, like when you start doing things like getting chickens at your house, it leads to so many things.
Like 40 chickens?
Yeah, like we got a bunch of chickens at our house. Mm-hmm. And it has led to us doing research and looking at other things that we eat.
Yeah. And what the chickens eat.
And
because we're actually putting what their eggs into our body. So whatever they produce, we're eating. Mm-hmm. Or what they eat, we eat.
Exactly. So it's like this trickle effect. Yeah. And as you start exercising, if you're taking it seriously and you really want to take your health to the next level and you're focused on longevity and your energy and, you know, everything that comes from living a healthy lifestyle, it slowly starts trickling into the other areas of your life. So if you look at back over the last 4 years, how it's transpired and everything that's came of it and all the research and the evolution of our health journey, including all of our nutrition. Yeah. You know, down to like even getting a chicken coop and having our own eggs. Yeah. But that's where it starts, is your exercise. Start today, do something small, go for a walk, do one push-up, do one pull-up, start working your way into some great habits and discipline. So you've got some consistency in your life. And then it'll evolve into some other things. Like you'll start to understand more about your body style and the things that benefit you the most, the types of exercise that you're interested in right now, the goals that you have for your own physique. And then it'll slowly start trickling into other areas of your life too. Yeah. Like your nutrition. So when we started, we went immediately to something without having to do any research. We just started using a meal prep company. Mm-hmm. And we're like, let's just take all the guesswork out of this. Yeah. And we'll just start using what this lady tells us to use. And that worked great for a while. Yeah. And I know great. I got trimmed up. And I wasn't really getting stronger. So it was easy and it was
convenient.
It was extremely convenient, which in business and when you're busy, whether you're in sales or your mother, father, you got a lot going on. It's a whole lot easier to just be able to grab something out of the fridge. You know, you're just going to have 3 of these today. Yeah. They're equal portions. Mm-hmm. One thing that we started paying attention to more was what was in the ingredients and what they were made of and the things that we wanted to allow into our bodies. Yeah. So then we kind of made some shifts. And then over the last couple of years, we've slowly started to understand what was affecting us in our digestion and our energy levels and what's, you know, something that's maybe going to help us keep a little extra cushion around the edges. Mm-hmm. What's going to help us take a little cushion off the edges. Mm-hmm. To where now we do mostly a carnivore diet as a family with some fruit and some potatoes, but mostly it's animal products and it's meat and eggs and raw dairy, butter, coconut oil. Yeah. With a little bit of dried fruit and fresh fruit sometimes. Mm-hmm. And that's agreed with us the most, for me at least. And I know
for me too.
For my digestion and my energy and like the ideal weight and the physique that I want to have and like my strength, the muscle. Yeah. It's been incredible. But it all started with going to the gym and then what was the next level? What else can I apply? You know, the little adjustments that you make along the way to be able to maximize on the effort that you're putting in at the gym. And nutrition is one of the key components to it. Yeah. Right?
I agree. It's led us down a lot of different paths as far as health. And then on top of that, you're doing like blood work and supplements. And
I mean, we don't just talk about it. Health is one of the pillars at JKR Windows. And we don't just talk about it, we live it. And I don't only exercise most days of the week and I have a healthy diet and I really pay attention to the things that I eat, but I also get blood work quarterly. And I have an expert looking at all of my levels for my hormones, my vitamins, my thyroid, my my red blood cell count. There's all these things that I didn't know anything about a couple of years ago, but I've learned more and more about what's important and the things that I need to be paying attention to. And I need to give blood every now and then because my blood gets thickened up differently than other people's. Oh, yeah. But I wanted to optimize everything. And I want to do it as naturally as possible with the food that I eat. Mm-hmm. And then I can supplement a couple of things with my vitamin B, my vitamin D. There's some peptides that I take that help me naturally produce testosterone. And it's exciting to be able to see the numbers change. Like over the last couple of years, I've made some significant improvements where I had no idea that some of the things that I was dealing with was because of these depletions in my vitamins, and my testosterone was only at like a 250.
Yeah.
And I'm only 39 years old. A couple of years ago, I was 37 years old, and I was at 37. I should not be at a 250 testosterone.
Right.
So I've been on a mission ever since then to be able to continue to optimize and look at it quarterly to see what's next on the list. What can I check off? What's the next supplement that I can add or continue down the same path to keep getting better and better numbers?
Yeah.
That's taking it seriously.
Yeah.
But if you're taking it seriously and you really, like, I want to live till I'm 100 years old.
Yeah.
I want to watch my kids have kids, and I want to play around with my grandkids and have all the energy to continue to do things in business and to have fulfillment in my life. And if you don't have the energy to do it, if you don't have your health, you can't enjoy life much.
No.
What are you're thinking about something over there?
I am. I lost my train of thought though. So then I was like trying to get it back because you kept talking.
You can interrupt me.
I know. I was just thinking like this doesn't have to be like a burden though either. Like it doesn't have to like take over your life. It just eventually it becomes your lifestyle, and it's not like this daunting task to like get healthy. It just slowly evolves over time into your lifestyle and your routine and becomes a natural thing. And it's not like we don't live. Like this is not like, oh, I can only eat this. It's like, yeah, we'll get ice cream once in a while and cookies but we've also learned to make our own treats. Mm-hmm. That's
healthier treats.
Healthier treats. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's kind of what I was thinking, but
yeah. But really, one of the things that holds people back from taking their health seriously and really taking their nutrition seriously is it's kind of boring.
Yeah, it can be boring.
It is boring.
It's boring for the kids. I wouldn't say it's boring. I don't really get bored of the food. And
I don't either, but I'm easy. Like I started when I was going to Motorcycle Mechanics Institute, I would make myself the same lunch every day, like 18 months straight. I made the exact same thing.
What was it?
It was a turkey sandwich and either some cucumber slices or some carrot slices. And, whatever treat my aunt had in the pantry. But I made that damn sandwich every freaking day.
That's awesome.
And I do pretty much the same thing. Yeah, because when we met was when I was living at her house, and I'd gained a bunch of weight. I think I was just over 200 pounds. I was riding my bike 25 miles a day.
Yeah, I gained weight like muscle weight.
Muscle weight.
Yeah.
Because I was going to the gym and I was riding my bike. But it was the consistency with my diet and not really like straying from it much because my schedule was so busy. And now the same thing has happened over the last couple of years where I pretty much do the same thing every day. I have bone broth for breakfast, and then I have some eggs, and then I have some meat sticks. Like I've got snacks that I'll eat throughout the day, but I'm just typically eating like a meat stick. And then we'll go home and we'll have either a steak or some hamburger with some potatoes or some fruit.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, we've been doing that for a year and a half straight.
Yeah.
Like the same exact thing every day with very small little variances. And what people get so hung up on is they're used to just being able to eat. And how many times have you heard people say, I just love food?
I mean, I love food.
I just love food too much to do that.
I think it's a very satisfying lifestyle. I don't want to call it a diet because it's not a diet.
It is. It's a lifestyle, but it also has so much to do with your mindset.
It does, but also like I think we crave all these different foods and all these unhealthy foods because we're eating unhealthy stuff. But when you start eating the things that provide all the nutrition that your body needs, you don't crave that stuff anymore.
Yeah, because when your hormones are balanced and your vitamin levels and your gut health.
Yeah, gut health is huge.
When those things are all starting to click and they're at healthy levels, then there's no longer these signals being sent to your brain, be like, I need some sweets.
Yeah.
And we used to experience that all the time. It's like you need something sweet and then you need something salty and you're like constantly like, oh, I'm craving something.
Yeah, that was my biggest craving was sweets all the time. And that was probably the biggest difference I noticed when we started doing carnivore was I don't crave sugar after every meal anymore. Although I still do like dark chocolate.
Which is okay because you do it pretty moderately.
Yeah. So what can people do when they have a busy schedule for eating healthy? Meal prep?
So meal prep helps. Yeah. You can get yourself a hot wife that makes meals for you. That's not an option for some of you, though. So for those of you that don't have that, you can do some meal prep. Like you spend a Sunday, go to the grocery store and buy some grass-fed beef and
or whatever.
Pre-make some potatoes and get some dried fruit. We use a lot of grass-fed meat sticks for our snacks throughout the day. And that's typically what I eat for lunch every day. Like I'm not a big lunch guy.
Yeah.
Unless I don't have anything going on, I got this fridge behind me with some meat sticks in it. And I'll have a meat stick and a water. That's my lunch.
That's good.
It's freaking boring.
Yeah.
But I'd rather be healthy and boring than unhealthy and lacking energy and not going to be able to live as long as I know that I can live and enjoy all the sweet foods of the earth.
Yeah.
So
pack a lunch.
Pack a lunch. Take it seriously. It's going to take some extra work. Like being fat and lazy is easy. That's why there's so many damn people that are fat and lazy because they don't have to do any extra work. They just run through the drive-thru and grab another sandwich, some French fries and a soda, and act like it doesn't affect them. Don't let that be you, though. You got to take it seriously. You got to do some prep work. And you also just can't starve yourself. Like that's not the answer.
Yeah.
You have to eat. You have to fuel your body. If you want the energy to go at the pace that I go, to go at the pace that she goes as a mom, driving her ass all over the place and bringing kids everywhere and still having the energy to give them all the love and attention that they need, you got to eat to be able to have the energy to do any of that.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have anything to do with starving yourself. And most of the time, especially for women, it's completely counterproductive to what you think. You can't starve yourself and lose weight.
Yeah. I think that's a big mistake that a lot of women make is they undereat. It's like you got to still fuel your body with some protein.
Yeah. Women need protein and creatine is a great supplement for women.
Yeah.
But then you got to do something with it.
Yeah.
So spend the time, take it seriously. I don't care how busy you are. I'm trying to become more efficient with my time. So I'm not as busy as I am, but I know that there is not very many people that I know on the face of this flat earth that are more busy than I am. And I still make time to eat healthy, to take my supplements, to get my blood work done, to go to the gym, to do the hiking workouts and all my cardio, and do all the other things, business and being a father and being a husband and maintaining my friendships and my relationships. You've got to be good at all of it. There's no shortcuts either.
Got to be superhuman.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to be good at it all. If you want to take this life seriously, if you want to do something special, if you want to live a long and prosperous life with enough energy to continue to pour into things that are important to you, your health is important.
Yeah.
I've seen it so many times, like people that have the world going for them and just incredible lives and making money, but then their health deteriorates. And it was like, none of it matters. Doesn't matter how much money you've got or how successful you are. If you haven't taken care of yourself, none of it matters.
You've also had to learn too. Huh?
Sure have.
Can't just go and not sleep or eat.
Yep. You got to make room for it all. And sleep is
also a part.
Turns out you can't supplement sleep. I tried for a long time. I was working with doctors and being like I know you've got some peptides. I know you got some pills. Like I can get so much more done if I only sleep 3 hours. So what extra stuff do you got for me that can give me all the energy? And I had a doctor that was like, he tried to convince me that I needed the sleep, but he was trying to give me the things that would help me. And my adrenals flatlined. My cortisol levels were off the charts.
Yeah.
And that was when I first started doing the blood work, because I'm like, whatever this guy's doing ain't working. It's bullshit. Mm-hmm. And it was my own doing. I was doing all the right things, but because I was only getting 3 hours of sleep instead of the 7 to 8 hours that I needed, it was completely counterproductive.
Yeah.
And my health took a huge dip, and I got sick more than I'd ever gotten sick before. And I was like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, I'm doing everything right.
But sleeping.
Except for sleeping. You can't avoid sleep, people. Listen, I got a lot done in that 18 months. When you're only sleeping 3 hours a day, God, you can get an extra 5 hours worth of productivity more than most people do, but not at the expense of your life and your health. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad I did it. It was a great learning experience. If you guys have questions, you can always reach out to us. Your resident health expert here, Shandell Rogers.
No, that's not me.
She is pretty good, though. So thank you guys for checking in. I think that pretty well covers it for the day on how you can manage your health with a busy schedule, whether you're in sales or you've got a busy schedule doing anything else. You've got to make time for it. It's got to be important to you. I want you to be healthy. Your family wants you to be healthy. So take it seriously. And thank you for checking in again to another episode of Just Real Quick with me and my beautiful wife, Shandell. We're going to keep coming back every week with more. So like and subscribe. Leave us a review. 5 stars, of course. And share it with somebody who you think needs to hear it. I know you've got somebody out there that needs to get their health situation figured out. And this might just be the message that they needed to hear to get them started on the right path with their exercise, with their nutrition, with the right type of mindset for them to take it to the next level so they can live a long and prosperous, healthy life. Thanks, y'all. See you next time.